At this point, we can welcome in Pam Gerard to the show. Pam, are you in Brisbane for today's action?
Actually, no. I'm actually just at home. We've got a couple of runners at Te Rapa, and obviously Scotty's been over there with them the whole time. And I had intention of going over, but it's a little bit nerve-wracking, so I'll stay at home.
Yes, Scotty McGee, he loves a trip, doesn't he? He's been doing a really good job as a travelling foreman for you. Just tell us a little bit about him.
Oh, well, obviously he's been all over the world with some pretty serious horses, Miss Andrete, and he just gives you absolutely everything when he's away, and horses come first, and he's probably down there sleeping in the boxes with them, so he's just that type of guy. He loves it, and he's managed to weasel his way out of a bit of winter, so he's pretty happy.
Exactly, and it must give you confidence really to have a bloke like that. Of course, like you said, used to work for Lee Friedman as well, and he is so hands-on with those horses and loves them, as I know you do, Pam. Let's first of all focus on Pin Me Down. She goes to Brisbane on the up. She was a really good race winner at Te Rapa last time out. What did you make of that performance?
I thought it was okay for her. I think she can be a lot better. Obviously, she's going to need to be going into Brisbane. It was a great starting point. Obviously, I was pleased that we decided to stay away from Sydney and give her a little bit of a let up. And I thought, just with a gallop under her belt into a race to win like that was good. And I knew there was so much more improvement in her. So, she's done well, and it was a good, confident run.
How has she settled in over there in Brisbane?
She's absolutely loving it. She never missed a feed, but as I've said all along, she's a very tough filly, and she just thrives on doing stuff. She can be quite busy, and all reports are that she's doing very well.
What are you expecting of her today in this what is, her probably, it's a decent starting point for her in Australia?
Well, it's never easy to get over there. I guess if you can get your horses well and working as good as you possibly can, you're half a chance. So that's all we can do. We know she's got a stack of ability, and I still can't say highly enough of how good I think this filly is, and is going to get better. I think she's a huge chance to be very competitive over there, but obviously it's all learning for us with her. But yeah, I'm fairly confident that she can match it with the best over there.
Yeah, and she's showing that she's up with the best here. Her 8-carat win was superb. Same with her Sunline Vase win. What are you wanting to see out of her today, Pam, with a view to the Oaks?
A win. No. Like, she's obviously, the travel and Dubin's a bit different, and I just, change a jockey, and I just want to see her run a really good race, and I know the way that she's worked. Scotty, he was beaming from ear to ear, so I think she can be very competitive. If she just pops up with one of her good runs like she can, when she has that turn of foot and everything's right, she's electric. So they better watch out.
Okay, she's at $26 in our Oaks market. Have you got any sort of booking through Michael Walker through to the Oaks, or what's the plan with jockeys for the Oaks?
I'm not sure. Michael organises that over there with Anthony, obviously. So once they get across to Tasman, I'm quite happy just to watch them from here. So, they organise all that side of it.
Okay, let's move you on to the Group 1, and that is the Doomben Cup. It's a big assignment, but we've already seen On the Rock successful at Wait for Age in New Zealand. How do you see that form shaping up in Australia, Pam?
I really don't know. He can throw in the odd funny run, but to be quite honest, this is the first time that he has drawn a decent gate and had it on when the track's not too bad. When he's got a decent gate, it's always been very heavy, and otherwise he's drawn off the track. So, look, he only has to run up to like he did in the Wait for Age, the Herbie Dyke, and he can be very competitive. As I said, he's a big, long striding colt, and if it's any shiftiness in the track, it just trips him up a little bit. But on his day when everything's right, he's more than capable of matching it with any of them. And I think, getting up to that 2,000 metres, it's just him all over and further. Obviously, the mile's just too short for him. In all reports as well, he's travelled over good, and Scotty sent me some photos, and I have to admit, he looks magnificent.
What about that Easter handicap? Because we can't ignore it. What happened at Ellerslie last time?
Oh, well, he copped a lot of weight on his back, you know, and the others came out the gate with 52 on his back and just ran along, and he just couldn't get on the bridle. He was flat-footed the whole way, and he is the type of horse that can do that a little bit early, but just through the middle stages, he needs to be able to pick up that bridle a little bit and just get himself sorted again before he can sprint. But he was just off the bridle the whole way, and you know, obviously with that big weight, he's not a big horse. It was just a little bit too tough for him, but it wasn't. I wasn't disappointed, put it that way.
He is still a stallion, and we've just sort of seen shots of you sort of dealing with the horse and attending to him, and he seems like he's got a good temperament. What is he like?
No, he's absolutely beautiful. Obviously, race day he can get a little bit excited, but you know, I guess a few times when Mike's been over here, he's seen him at the races, and he's sort of said, "Oh, you could probably go with him," but he's been over there watching him work every morning, and he's just can't believe what a good-natured colt he is. So you'd be worried if he didn't get a little bit excited on race day, and I think that's really what makes him good on the actual day.
Okay, could he be a stallion further down the track?
Well, yeah, obviously he'd have to get some black type or some kind of form over in Australia if he does. Obviously, he probably will get a job after racing, but there's always a market for them somewhere. But yeah, hopefully it's a wee way down the track yet.
Yeah, well, he confirmed that with a win today, so all the best with that. Earlier on the program, you got Zaza Gabor going over for our sponsors as well, Valachi Down and Kevin and Joe Hickman. What are you making about his lead-up form? The third placing at Ellerslie, how does it sort of equate as a lead-up run to today?
I thought her run at Ellerslie was super. The ground that she made up, and she hadn't run for almost 6 weeks, so to do that over 2200. It shows really what a good stay mare she's going to turn into. I still don't think she's quite there yet, and I think next, after Christmas, back here, she's going to be super competitive. But obviously the trip over there didn't go all to plan last time. She sort of got a bit hurt and things went a bit wayward. But in all fairness, it probably was the making of her. So, hey, she goes in there with good form. Ideally, wouldn't really want to see too much moisture over there for her, but they were happy enough to go over and have a go, and if she runs up to her race at Auckland, she'll be very competitive in that grade.
Where does this race fit into her preparation, Pam?
Probably looking at something, depending on how she goes today, probably once those Durban Cup and Brisbane Cup races get out of the way, those Cup races become quite light, and she could easily slot into something like the Ipswich Cup or something that's just a little bit on the lesser, just to give her a bit of confidence and get a nice win over there with a bit of black type.
Yeah, and she'd come into those sort of races with a really nice weight as well. On the domestic front, a couple of runners. You've got She's a Goddess and Bridal Veil. First of all, She's a Goddess. The form looks like, you know, she might be one who might just be a racehorse on the rise. How are you assessing her today?
Yeah, we've always thought quite a bit of her. Obviously, she's Tavistock just been a little bit slightly slow maturing. She's a very fast filly, obviously beautiful win, fresh up, with no weight on her back, home track, good draw, was sort of set on a plate for her really. Gets another good draw today, work has been outstanding. I couldn't have her any better than what she is today, but obviously she's going to have to be very good too, because it's a big step up in class.
And she's got that tactical speed, which is a big advantage. Will she be on pace again today?
She doesn't have to lead, but she generally from barrier 1, I can't see too much else happening. She'll do no work to be there. If someone wants to go crazy and work harder from outside her, well, they're welcome to. Obviously, when Cameron rode her at Matamata, when she won the start before, or a couple of starts back, she sat just in behind the pace, so she doesn't have to lead. Okay,
and your confidence levels with her today?
I couldn't have had it better, to be quite honest. So, you know, she's gleaming, she's bright in the coach, she's worked fantastic. Cameron worked it the other day. He was very happy.
Okay, yeah, you've got Bridal Veil going around in the 7th as well. Stepping up a little bit in company today, but another one who's in really good form. That last start win was terrific. How's she come through it?
Yeah, she's a mare that's very weak, and really would just love to give her a bit of timing to mature, but she's sort of also one of those types that maybe just never will. She doesn't carry a lot of excess condition. She struggles to get through a slower track. She's just not quite strong enough to get herself through it, but I do think she's got a lot of ability and she can actually get some black type down the track in the right place, but she's going to probably come into the end of her prep, and Rick really wanted to see her line up in a Saturday meeting and just get a true assessment of where we're at. Obviously, you've drawn out a little bit wide, but not ideal, but we do get a better track.
Okay, and so what sort of assessment can Rick get from her today?
Just whether we, what we do, whether we go out or, where we sort of assess her coming back for a spring campaign.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, best of luck with both of those, and also those runners in Australia as well. Massive day for you, Pam, as we look through them. Zaza Gabor on the rocks, Pin Me Down, She's a Goddess, and Bridal Veil. Just tell us, the season has really, you seem to have shone. How are you enjoying your role out there at Matamata at the moment?
Oh, well, it's fantastic. I couldn't, obviously Mike, he's fantastic. It's great that he's got the confidence that we can do the job back here. But, it's just so good for the staff. They put so much in. We've got people like Scotty and Richie and all the ones at home that have been in the game for so long. And I think it just keeps them going. It's a real kick for them to be able to see these good horses going around. And obviously, Mike's dad, Hori, turning 90. I've never seen him with such a skip in his steps. So, it's fantastic. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to find the good ones, get them over to Mike. So I think it's working pretty well at the moment. Okay,
find us a good one. Who's the best of the 5 runners today?
I'd have to say Pin Me Down, but She's a Goddess, very close.
Okay, liking that. Steer on both of them. Thanks for joining us, Pam Gerard, joining us from Matamata this morning on the Punters Lounge.